Right. Oh, my camera's not working once again. Why are you not working, camera? There we go. Cool. I know it says I'm an hour late probably, but it's daylight savings transition here in the States in Virginia, so I'm not actually late, I suppose. Let's go. Let's go. Where are we? We had a whole bunch of to-dos somewhere. I don't exactly remember where. Was it here? I feel like it was here. Let's see. Where were we? Where were we? Where were we? We were. You'll have to excuse me today. I've had a weird morning. I got up and I felt super dizzy. So let's go ahead and go to our GitHub Actions. Maybe we'll find something there. It wasn't this one, it was definitely this one. We had a pull request up, and on our pull request, we said, got these to-dos. Awesome. So that was on preview deploy workflow. Just this guy here. So we need to add inputs for branch. Add AWS authentication through Pulumi manually first, and then add Pulumi login S3 GitHub Actions. I think that's the part. That's the part that we want to get through. So let's do that. When we were looking at main.go, I don't remember exactly where, because I remember we were setting up the, excuse me, we were setting up the resources for this was it right here. Got it, okay. All right, so we set up the GitHub OIDC provider. We set up the policy document. We need to deploy this manually first. We set the IAM role and the deploy role art. And I said that we were gonna have this be managed outside of GitHub Actions. That way, if anybody were to take over the repo, we don't have to do anything about it. So here, because this is the deploy role, or the main role, when excuse me, when the branch gets merged into main, this is the role that we want to assume. And so yeah, we said it was a deploy role arg. Sorry, I'm just catching up again. Alright, so we got the OIDC provider, we got the policy document. This is the assume role policy. The condition said that it must come from the OIDC provider. It must come from this particular repo, but we need to add the main branch here. So I think last we looked at it, I lost it, didn't I? Actions, AWS, OIDC. Yeah, so we can say the repo is a specific repo, right? So we were saying string like, and we were testing the, excuse me, we're testing the token coming from sub, and it must produce one of these values, which is going to be, which is going to be Alexa prayer times. Then that's the repo. I don't want to do start, I want to do refs heads. I believe it was refs heads main. Refs heads and then the whatever, yes. Refs slash heads, sorry, slash heads. Main. So this will only work when, when we deploy. So when the branch gets merged into main, this role is the one I want to be assumed, and then this role will have access to the actual deployment part, so it'll be able to go out to AWS. It'll be able to authenticate with AWS with the proper permissions to actually create and manage resources rather than read-only. That way, what I can do is that when I do a preview, I can use the read-only role, which should have sufficient permissions to the preview. And then when I merge into main, it'll use a different role, which will have different permissions to do an actual deploy. So that's exactly what plan is. So I've got the main branch, cool, but now I need to actually supply. Yeah, I need to do this read only, which is add role for PRs only. So we're gonna have the same OIDC provider, which is fine, but now we're gonna have a different assume role, and we also actually need to, let's do this one first, where we actually need to add the policies for the actual deploy role itself. So we said that this deploy role is going to use this assume role, and this assume role is going to only authenticate against the OIDC provider, but the deploy role still needs permissions itself. So here we say it's got to be like manage policies or AWS manage policies or something. I guess it is just that. Okay. Permission, name, path, max duration. Okay, so I guess it's just manage policies. Manage policy. Set exclusive policy aren't. If this attribute is not configured, the provider will ignore the policy attachment. When configured, the provider will align with policy. Got it. Okay. So it needs a boolean string array input. So we're gonna go ahead and take what we get from .to string array, and then we can just add our manage policies in here, I believe. Yes. We just add our manage policies here. So if we go to our AWS account specifically, I really should be blurring this out, but please don't dox me. Go to IAM, and then we'll take a look at some policies. So what I want to do is since I'm only managing Lambda, I need to be able to create an IAM role for the Lambda function. What else does the other project do in terms of infrastructure? So it creates a KMS key, creates a Lambda function, a role. So yeah, Lambda function, a role, and creates a KMS key and associates it with it. So I do need to give it IAM access, but I'll see if I can find a more restrictive one. So let's definitely give it Lambda full access, whatever that is. That way we can at least manage the role. Lambda role. So Lambda replicator, Lambda role. There must be another page. Yeah, this is it. So I should be able to provide this ARN directly into string array. And then the other one was KMS. KMS policy is not a thing? No. Interesting. Okay. That is fine. Do I have the KMS key created? I can give it explicit access to the one KMS key then. And only that KMS key. Let's see. So this is enabled. Geocode encryption, SOPs. It's definitely not that one. When was this created? Creation date 2020. Well, that's definitely not it. What about this guy? This is definitely it. And then this guy, one that I didn't provide an alias for. Not it. Got it. Okay. Actually, this one can go away. I don't need this one. Delete this. Mark for deletion. Confirm. What is this one? 2019. Man, why do I have these keys? I don't understand. Mark for deletion. Don't need it. Thank you very much. Alright, and then this geocode encryption key, also 2020, from another project. Well, the same project actually. Schedule key for deletion, but it was just a different thing entirely. This can go to, and the only one that will be living is the one key, which is the one that I've used recently, which has very restrictive access. Except for it allows me to do whatever I want. Anyways, so that's good. Cool. So what I want to do now is that I want to give this particular key yarn explicit access from my IAM role. So let's see what that looks like. So there is oh, I see what I have to do. I actually have to create a policy, a managed policy with its role here, and then add it to this guy here. Then I won't be able to combine this list, which is the two-string array, which outputs into Pulumi string array, I believe. Sorry. Yeah, this outputs to Pulumi string array, which this can accept, but I won't be able to combine the two, so I have to use both. I have to use the other method where I use the IAM policy get policy document output, then add the array from the KMS key ARN there, as well as this guy. Okay, so it's gonna be a new IAM policy. Let's call it GitHub Actions deploy KMS policy. Is equal to IAM.new policy CTX, and then it's going to take, let's see, GitHub deploy KMS policy, and it's going to take IAM policy args. Now this is where I learned something about Go that I probably should have known a long time ago. So a new policy takes IAM get policy args, right? As it's stated. And I think IAM get policy arg. Oh, it's a type struct. Okay. Okay, that's different. What I was trying to do is I was trying to see if um, if policy args is a type of interface which then can be used by other structs, which is what I did actually with excuse me, with the IAM get policy output. Today I'm not feeling the best. Anyways, going forward, so name, description, path, prefix, these are all string pointer inputs, yeah, this is nothing. And the policy is just string input. So the JSON document, this JSON format is string. Okay, got it. Conflicts with name. Name prefix, got it, okay. But I want to not use this exactly, because what would happen if I had, say, another ARN from an actual resource? I can't actually put that in here. That doesn't work. That's interesting. Why is there two policy args? And in fact, this one takes an interface. Okay, let's follow that through. So args, policy args, options, resource options. What's in here? Apply resource option. Resource option is providers. Oh, I see. These are Pulumi actual. These are actual Pulumi resource actions. Got it. Okay, so I don't need that one. I need. It returns this. This policy struct is just. Wait a minute. Can I just build this? Do I? I don't have to actually use this. I can just use this. As long as yeah. This says it needs IAM policy args. But IAM policy args, which is this guy here, all that does is it returns policy. So I don't have to actually use this guy at all if I can somehow fill in all of policy, which is, I don't know what to put for here, but there must be a way. What does this look like? This looks like, these are what's in the document. So like, again, they don't have, so we put in where they explicitly put in the ARN from another resource. I don't like this thing, sorry. Let's see, get policy, policy state, input properties for looking up and filtering policy resources. Okay, got it. Policy args, which is loosely what we're doing. These are the policy args that we're playing with. Again, this doesn't work for us because I'm trying to not use the JSON input because I can't put a Pulumi string output in the JSON input. That doesn't work. So how did I do this in the other one? Because I created a policy in the other one. In this one, I put the lambda role, the apt secret key, the apt secret. This is the actual secret, sorry. KMS key policy and the lambda IAM role. The lambda IAM role is, okay, so this is the IAM role, and then where's the actual policy itself? IAM policy, it's this guy here. So I used IAM get policy document output. That's what I used. And then in the policy, where it said new policy, I used that get policy document output. But instead, I just called instead of calling see what I did. Instead of calling new IAM policy with policy args, well, I did call policy args, and then I provide the policy here. But this is something you can put into JSON. That decodes into JSON, I'm sorry. But I'm trying to not use, well, actually, this is string array. Hey, how's it going, Schooly B? How are you? Welcome back, nice to see you again. I need like a chat notification chime. That'd be nice. And today is hot in here. I think that's why I'm getting dizzy. Alright, so that's what I need to use. I need to use get policy document output, which is nowhere. Let's try it with JSON first, and then we'll see where we get. According to their documentation here, I can use this guy. JSON Marshall, blah, 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 blah. Got it. GitHub Actions. For KMS policy JSON is equal to JSON Marshall map interface. Is it map interface? It's map interface, isn't it? Map string interface, yeah. Map string interface. No way. Yeah, actually, way. Let's see, so we're taking the version statement and then the action, and this is the part that's key. Which I can do in this case because the iron is straight up a string because the iron's already created. But like, say that I had another policy or a resource in here. I wouldn't be able to put that in here because its type is not ARN. So its type is not string, sorry, not ARN. But I can do that this time because I can just go ahead and add to it, I should say. All right, or sorry, go ahead and use the strings and so version is going to be, was it 2017, 2012? Yeah. AWS needs to update this. Statement. this is going to be map string interface again. Map string interface. Is that how interface is done? It's double? Oh, it is double. Okay. And then it's going to be map string array. I'm doing good. I'm not the best today. I don't know why. When I woke up today, I felt really, really dizzy, and I just have like this weird case of vertigo, just moving my head like up and down or side to side. But I'm doing good. I can't complain. I'm doing good. I'm glad you're doing well as well. Well, that's terrible sentencing. Let me repeat that. I'm glad you're doing okay, all right as well. Let's see. So I've got map string interface statements, map string interface again. Oh, because it's an array. So map string interface, then map string array. No, still an interface. Okay. So what I'm doing is, thank you by the way. What I'm doing is I have everything for my Lambda function to be deployed onto AWS, but I need my GitHub Actions, which is my CI provider, to be able to authenticate with AWS. So on this particular stack, what I'm doing is I'm creating the role and the OIDC provider that GitHub Actions will use. So I don't want to use credentials because I absolutely hate credentials whatsoever. So what I'm doing is that GitHub Actions is going to use a JWT token to connect with the OIDC provider in AWS. It will then assume the role. And all the authentication is done through that JWT token that GitHub Actions provides. And then I don't have to provide AWS credentials to my GitHub Actions runner at all. And that way, I can go ahead and be like, just use this role, Arn, and then there's already restrictions in place on the role that says, for example, here, it must come from GitHub Actions, it must come from my repo, and the branch must be main. And therefore, hey, you now meet these requirements on the token. It will then allow the assume role with web identity to go through, and then GitHub Actions can directly assume a role on my AWS IAM account, on the role itself on my AWS account. And I don't need a secret key, I don't need an access key, I don't need any of that stuff, and it just does it for you. Obviously, there are keys in the background. I think there's like short-lived keys, about an hour or so, but it's all handled in the background, and I don't have to know it. So this is like the most secure way that at least I know of for my GitHub Actions runners to authenticate with my AWS account. So if you ever do this in a workplace, best practice is to use this method, at least for the time being. So I've got the, this is the OIDC provider being created. This is just a thumbprint list that GitHub provides. This is the assume role policy, as we've already seen. And now I'm creating the actual policies that the role can use, and then I'm going to go ahead and attach it to the role down here. This is the deploy role, meaning that this role will only work on when it's merged to main, but I still need a role that will work when it's not on main, right? So I'm going to create another role that says, I don't know, GitHub Actions or GitHub read-only role, and that will do my Pulumi preview, but it will not do my Pulumi up. When it goes to main, it will use a different role to do my Pulumi up, and that will have sufficient permission. So I at least I delegate it accordingly between PR and non-PR. I've done a similar thing at work, just not in Pulumi and not in, actually it was in CDK, so just not in Pulumi. So I'm just replicating that here. And a Bane, it looks like, because taking a resource ARN and feeding it into JSON like this is not possible, because this is taking a map string interface and then it's taking a string array in a lot of these places, like here, for example, right? And you can't use a resource arn as a string interface because a resource arn doesn't output a string. It outputs a string output, a Pulumi string output, which is a different type entirely. And I need to get with Pulumi in that case about how to do this properly. I've gotten away with using this before, but this is not actually documented. I found this by luck. So I'm gonna reach out to them, be like, hey, you need to document this. There's gotta be better ways to do that. But I'm going to use, since I have a string hard-coded already, which is in this purpose in my KMS key, I'm just going to go ahead and use a JSON method. It's just a little easier. I don't feel like writing all those pointer values out. Not string interface, string array. Okay, I got it. So effect. Is that effect? It is. Yeah, what am I doing here? Of course. This is going to be effect. Allow and resources. That's the arn. Please don't dox me. And then I need the one with actions. Map string. There's a string array though, right? It is a no. It's just it's not a map string. Sorry. It's just a string array, and then that's going to take KMS. I'll do KMS star for the time being. Cannot instantiate 1 with 2. Got it. Missing key and map literal. This is the one thing that statements oh, I messed up. Map string interface, just need one of those. Got it. And then, so if error is not equal nil. Am I using log fatals? Yeah, log fatals. Log.fatal error. Got it. And then here, this is where it gets a little fancy, I should say. New IAM policy is going to take args. Args takes a policy, which is that, right? So let's go back to here. Let's go back to here. So name, description. Does this take Pulumi string pointer input? Sorry. Pulumi.string pointer. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And provides a string pointer input. So this takes, it's going to say input. String pointer input. And that's gonna take, what should we call this? APT KMS? Yeah. What else? There's name prefix. I don't need that. I don't need that. I need policy. I'll deal with tags later. So policy is a Flumi input. So that can just be straight up JSON, right? So does that work? Flumi string JSON 0. Flumi.string actually returns. I looked that one up. Flumi.string. GitHub Actions deploy policy JSON. I can't use this anymore. I now have to combine this policy arn with this arn and return that into a list. So this will be special. This is the special part. Always taking arns. Hey LV, how are you? Assalamu alaikum. I'm doing good. How are you? Oh, assalamu alaikum, Agon. How are you? I didn't know you were here. I need to get notifications when people join and people leave. This list does not update really quickly. Ah, got it. Twitch's chat, like, viewer or users and list does not update very quickly, so I need to get better notifications somehow. Oops. So now we need to combine these two lists somehow. So this list, which returns, actually this requires a string array input, and then adding this in there, which is just an IAM policy. IAM policy actually returns policy, which returns arn, which returns that. So maybe I can use maybe this takes just a string array. Okay, so let's go ahead and comment this out. Twitch has trash developer, can't make finished product. What the? Hey, I'm one of those trash developers. I can't finish this thing for some reason. But no, I know what you mean regarding the chat system. This theme, this is like my editor theme is called Grubbox, I believe. Yeah, it's just Grubbox. Agon, I'm doing good. My day's going well. I've been feeling a little under the weather regarding some dizziness here and there, but not bad. How are you doing? I know it's midday for you, so I hope your day is going well. Let's see now. How do I add the two? I wonder if I can just do a map string interface array, or just do a array interface and then just put the two together and then just call it from there. Let's see. Bind is a interface. That's gonna be an array interface. Sorry. And let's say that that is, excuse me, that is obviously GitHub Actions deploy KMS policy dot arn, and this guy. Combine arns value type interface is not a string input. Okay, so this probably could have worked, but it's not, because this particular thing, which manage policies, doesn't take a interface array. It only takes a polemy string input, and I need to somehow provide polemy string input, polemy string array input in here. So let's see what that looks like. Polemy dot string interface. Can I just shove these two in here? No way. Invalid composite literal type string array input. Yes. Okay, I already tried this once before. I didn't. So this is actually using Polemy to deploy some AWS resources, and I like using Go because I don't know, hurting myself or something. And so instead of using TypeScript, which would have been a much easier language because it's not so type sensitive compared to Go, even though it's called TypeScript, I decided to use Go. I like Go for what it is, but there are cases like this where it's not the best, and so like I should have been able to, like I shouldn't need to actually do something like this just to get an ARN output and a and feed it, and sorry, an ARN output from a resource that I'm creating here, as well as a string ARN, which is the same structure, and figure out a way to actually input it into another resource. In TypeScript, you could just literally just say manage policies as, you know, resource ARN and some string ARN, and then it figures it out for you. But that's not the case in Go. So basically what I'm saying is I like hurting myself in using Go, because it's just, I'm not saying that Go is difficult. I'm just saying like this implementation, and I get it, but this implementation is not the easiest. And I get why it's not the easiest, but it's just not the easiest. Especially having to do all these like if errors, that's annoying. Like that shouldn't be a thing. Go is a static type, like it's super static. It's even more static than TypeScript. It's more type sensitive than TypeScript. And you run into that into your lower level languages, C, C++, Rust, and Go. Like there's less and less of magic, and you have to be absolutely explicit, which is good and bad. It's good that you get in the practice of it, but it's bad because you have to write more code to do something that should easily make sense, right? And like normally I should have just been able to do, for example, let me comment this out, right? So let's say that here I just say GitHub Actions KMS policy, where is it? GitHub Actions, yeah, just the KMS policy dot arn, right? This should work, but it doesn't, because this is a string array output, and this is just a string array because I'm using polemy string array, right? but so it doesn't work. And so I'm trying to use something like this, where I'm calling a string array input, but I can't call it. So it's invalid composite literal type preliminary string array input. Right? So maybe I should just use string array, and I have to play around with it. Yeah, see, now I can't take this because it's a constant type string as string input. So what if I just say this is Pulumi.string? That might work. And then I don't need this combined policy. Oh, yeah, I don't need this combined policy R. Is this terminal window then inside your NeoVim? Yeah, so this is just, I don't have a NeoVim like window manager. This is literally just a terminal window with tmux running. And then inside tmux, I'm running NeoVim. So I use WesTerm. I like WesTerm because it uses Lua, even though I haven't combined it, or I haven't configured it to its possible abilities. But I use WesTerm, and then I use tmux, and inside tmux I use NeoVim. So it's on those dot files that I gave you. I think I even installed WesTerm in there, in those dot files. Anyways, I'm hoping this works. Because this doesn't say... Yeah, see, this takes a Pulumi string array input, right? So whatever has a string array output will suffice this interface, which this does. String array output. See, it does. The thing I learned about Go over the weekend, especially regarding interfaces that's not really explained well, is that if you have a property or a, excuse me, not just a property, but if you have like a parameter or a property, anything that takes an interface, like for example, this is an interface, right? So manage policy arm takes an interface. I came back from here. So it takes an interface. An interface is something that, what's the word? It actually fulfills. An interface doesn't fulfill, something else fulfills the interface. So, like, for example, string array input is an interface, right? So you can use any set of structs. So like where I use string array, not exactly string array input, that must mean that string array has these two methods in it. Input is, I don't know what input is, but anyways, like it has these two methods in it. It must have, like whatever structure you use to fulfill this interface, it must have string array output and string array output with context, which string array does. String array output and string array output with context. So that therefore, I can use a string array. This looks like VS Code Grovebox theme. This is, it probably is the same. I mean, Grovebox is like sort of supposed to be universal. It's like, you know, Sublime Text, VS Code, and Vim and NeoVim. And I just use this one. I always end up using NeoVim. I used to use like the material themes, and you know that also comes from VS Code, and actually that came from Sublime Text, even further back. So yeah, but I prefer Grovebox now. I give it a few months and I'll switch it up again. It's gonna be something different. I'll be like, oh, I'm tired. Like one of my main gripes is I hate seeing white everywhere. Like I want to see colors. I don't know why. Like a lot of people like it, but they like the color purple. Like I don't like the color purple. A lot of people love the color purple in editors, and I'm just like, that looks disgusting. Like I can't have it. So yeah. So anyway, so that's how that works. Now I know how I can use interfaces. So basically, like if this says it uses an interface, which it does here, then I just need to find something that fulfills that interface. Yeah, I don't know why people love like purple in editors. Like it's just like, oh, this is so cool. Like, what's that one? Oh, okay. By the way, welcome, Hand of Malice. Um, this one's for you. This theme, if you're a Vim user, it integrates so well with so many other, like OBS. How does this interact with OBS? I have no idea, but it's so versatile. And my only problem with it is it's purple everywhere. Like every style that it has, it's just purple. So here you go. You're using Catmusin light background. So they don't have actual like maybe some palettes, and I'm just not seeing it. Um, I don't know where it is, but I don't see the actual colors itself, and maybe I just didn't get. Uh, do they have like a like an actual like what it looks like somewhere? Z Karma. Thank you for the follow. Um, so I don't see the pictures anywhere, unfortunately. It doesn't look like it's here. Assets maybe? Assets, logos, previews. Yeah, so you use something like that, I suppose. Is there an actual? No, there isn't. Wow. Okay, so you use the light latte. Zachary. Zachary Ma. Okay, sorry. It's hard to see it on when it says follow and it's in that weird red text. But now that you actually, Agon, did you use dark backgrounds previously? Because I want to know now. Like, if you used dark backgrounds previously, then like what made you switch to light? Dark backgrounds for many years. Wow. You're the first. The switch between light and dark backgrounds hurts my eyes, and also when I work outside. Got it. Got it. You're the first that I've heard that went from the dark background to the light background. Like it's usually not the case, like that I see. Anyways, so if you like a very, very, very um, what's the word? Uh, Not adjustable, but I guess versatile theme, this one's the way to go. And actually, back on that light background and dark background thing, Agon, did you have like deep dark, or did you use something like Grovebox, like I am, or is AYU? I remember that one, but I think AYU is pretty dark. Like it's like deep dark. I feel like I don't think they have. Oh, they do have some non-deep darks. Let's see. Where's the VS Code ones that I used to use? Yeah, see, it's still a little too deep for me. Like especially that one. This dark is like way too dark. But Mirage, I think that's what I think what I did use, and it's still for the colors that it provides. The colors are a little too sharp, um, even for Mirage, and so the colors need to be a little more dull. Like it compared to it's a little too piercing for my eyes. I understand where you're coming from now. Like I that's why I, is that with yeah, see even this was a little too dark for me too. Is that with when you say working long hours doesn't hurt your eyes? Is that with the light theme or is that with like AYU theme, Mirage or whatever it was? Light theme? Oh, interesting, interesting. Have you tried like a yellow background, like a yellowish cream colored background theme yet, or just standard white like this? I use everything light theme now. Phone. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I use everything dark theme still. Solarized light. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Well, anyways, I like I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm gonna say Capuchin. Zachary, I agree with you. But I use Grubbox everywhere. TypeScript, Go, doesn't matter. Use it everywhere. I'm gonna say this is Capuchin. I think that's how you pronounce it. I feel like it's a word that they want you to um, they know that people will say it incorrectly and it's gonna sound hilarious, and that's what they named it. So I want to be able to get into this, but I just couldn't. I don't know. I can't take the color scheme. I just can't. I can't take the purples. Even the light thing, like this, I can't take the purples. It's not Cappuccino. I can't take the purples. I just can't. I'm sorry. Not for me. All right. So back to where I was. Now I learned about interfaces. I read up on about the weekend. It's like why does Go does the thing as it is, and I thought interfaces was a way, like an easier way to interact with the struct that it's interacting with, but it's actually the opposite. The struct is fulfilling the interface. So going back to what I was saying, is like this is an interface. So if your type, whatever this is, right, requires this is a type, requires this type of interface type, you can use anything that fulfills this interface. So as I said, string array is what I'm using. So I learned to, please don't make me lift this up. Anyway, so both this string array can take type of Pulumi string. So I can just use that in there and feed it into this manage policy arms. Pulumi docs, not the best. Gonna say it over and over again. So yay me. I think that's it that I needed, right? I've got the assume role. Well, I still need to do the read-only role. So I've got the assume role for the deploy role here. I've got the policy JSON, which includes the KMS ARN, which I added on there. If I didn't do that, then I would need something that can, like IAM get policy document, which is still not documented in there in the documentation, so on, or whatever that can use Pulumi string array, something that can use Pulumi string array, because I'm sure this can't. Huh. Let's try this. Pulumi, no. String array. And then that can be, I just want to try it. Type check. Cannot use what? Cannot use this as string input. Alright, because it needs to be Pulumi.string. I can't type today. Crap. And then this can be let's say, why don't we put this guy in, but this would have worked because this isn't an actual ARN yet, I know, but I feel like this might have worked. Redundant type. Why is this a redundant type? Whoa, that's not a redundant type. Oh yeah, no, it is. It's because this guy's are here. map string interface literal. Yeah, it's not a redundant type. Thank you very much. Okay. I'll play around with that later. I'm not gonna do that now. I'm just gonna leave it as a string. Going down. Okay, so need to make the read-only role and the read-only role assume role policy. So I've got the LIDC provider. I've got the assume role policy for the deploy role. So I need to rename this assume role deploy assume role policy. And then I'll fix that one warning later. I think it's here. GitHub Actions deploy KMS policy JSON. It says it's a redundant type because it's not a redundant type. There's something wrong with my editor. It says effect untyped string constant to an int. Yeah. That's what it says map string interface. So this is a map string interface array. They did it as a redundant type. They did it as a redundant type. Yeah. Map string interface, map string interface, map string interface array, map string interface array, and then string array. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Cool. So I need to make the assume role policy for the read-only role. And this is where this can't be the best way. It just can't be. Like, I'm gonna try it with a JSON Marshall once again. If any place I need an actual ARN, I'm gonna try using a Pulumi string array and see how that goes. So let's see now. This is the deploy role JSON policy. I'm gonna do the read-only rule now. GitHub read. I'll just do RO. Assume role policy is equal to IAM dot. No, not that. Not that. At error JSON Marshall map string interface. Declared but not used. Fine. I need the version and the statement block. So I'm just going to take that and go here. Statement map string. I can't spell. Interface. Alright, this is an array of statements. And then this is going to be a map string interface. Effect allow, and then this will be afterwards. Let's see. I need the principal, and I think that's it, right? It's just the principal and the SID and the conditions. So let's try it. So let's do principals. And principals is an array. Oh, but it's a string array. Right. Sorry. I'm so used to TypeScript where I just like, oh, put it in the square brackets, but in Go, it's not square brackets, it's sock curly braces. You don't put anything in the square brackets. So I want, let's take a look at IAM principal example. I think it looks a little different. I don't think it looks the same as though I think it is in my head. Yeah, so principal is a map string interface, and then that's an array. Okay. So it's not this. It's actually a map string interface. And then it takes ABS, and that's going to be a map string array. Or sorry, it's just going to be a string array. And that is, excuse me, you wanted that to be, let's see, what did it look like? Type identifier is ABS, and that is a crap. I need this to be a Pulumi string array, and then it would need to take the OIDCR and output. Okay, so let's try it that way. So let's try ABS, and then it's going to be a Pulumi.string array, and then it's going to be OIDC.ARN. To string output. Yes. Let's see if that works. Okay, cool. And that's all I need in there? That's all I need in there. Oh, right, I need a type to be ABS too, and then identifiers. Is that what it looks like, really? That's not what it looks like. It's just that and that and that in standard JSON. And it's principal, not principals. Principal. See if that works. If I can get this to work, this is so much more cleaner than this. This is ugly as hell. I'm trying to mix in map string interfaces with Pulumi string arrays, and if this can be computed, much better. Much better. Right, now I need conditions. Is it condition or conditions? This says it's condition, which is a map string interface. Map string interface. It's not an array, right? It's not string-like. And that's going to be a map string interface. There needs to be some like meta programming where I can be like, I don't know, MSI is equal to map string interface, and then it just does that whole thing for me. I don't want to keep typing MSI, or sorry, keep typing map string interface everywhere. What is the grade you studied? I mean, I finished high school. I never really finished college, and then I got lucky. You know the whole story. So high school here is 12th grade. I think over there is 10th grade. Yeah, high school here is 12th grade. That's not to say that it's actually like 2 grades higher than what's in Bangladesh. That's for sure. It's not. It's the level of school that I went to here in public school is the worst. It's not that hard. I breezed through it, and I almost, yeah, in Bangladesh is very hard. In here, or sorry, in the States, like, I got so bored that I just stopped caring about schoolwork. I just didn't care anymore. It didn't pique my interest, and the teachers just didn't know how to teach, unfortunately. No, that just happened to be the case. But over there in Bangladesh, like, teachers are strict. Like, I'm not one for violence, but like the strict, almost violent attitude that teachers have about this works sometimes. Like it just does, and sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't. Well, actually, most of the time you don't. You shouldn't. But we're teenagers then, and teenagers need like they need strong, constructive support. Like, and when I say strong, constructive support, I mean that like they need to be. The teenagers often fight back. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that in Bangladesh. But teenagers often fight back, and you have to fight. Like if you let teenagers go with talking back or fighting back, then they just get away with it. It's like a pet. Um, I have a cat, but like if my cat gets away, like if she fights me and she gets away with it, she'll do it more often. It just is, and that's why I feel like as teenagers. I'm probably wrong, but there is I feel like there is some validity to my reasoning. But in Bangladesh, they beat you. If you don't do your homework or you get something wrong, they beat you. But you learn, you learn it like the hard way, and then like afterwards you realize like those teachers, yeah, they get like they're human too. They get frustrated, and so it's not good practice. Being hit or hitting students is not good practice, but sometimes in special cases it's necessary. Um, Anyways, so let's see. I was using string like. String like is giving me this guy. Whoa, that's not what I wanted. That was in my paste buffer, isn't it? I want map string array, or is it just string array? I think it's just string array. Oh, hush, editor. Let's see, string array, and I want this whole thing except for, I'm going to change it. To be that. Now I can just say, oh, I gotta do the if error, doesn't it? Oh, there we go. So now I can use this assume role policy for read-only roles. So GitHub Actions deploy role. I'm just gonna copy this guy. It's gonna be my my read-only role. Oh my god. Ineffectual, I get it, I get it, I get it. And then I'm going to go and export it here. There we go. Now I can go ahead and change this to read only. And it's going to use my GitHub Actions read only role. Yeah. No. No. What is this called? GitHub RO role? Assume policy. That's the one. There we go. Cannot use byte. Crap. What is this? This is that policy. And this is the other policy. I need this to be an actual type. So down here, when I use this one, I supplied it to this KMS policy as Pulumi string. So maybe I can do that. Pulumi.string GitHub read-only role assume policy. Yes, that's exactly what I want. Okay, so manage policy arms. Don't want. Let's see. I don't know if I want this one. I definitely don't want that one. I just need my standard read-only ARN. Ooh, it's already 8:52. Is this manage policy ARNs that I was on? I was on manage policy ARNs. Yeah, let's try it. Read-only. Nope. That's a roll. That's why. Read-only. Let's do read-only everywhere. Just regular read-only, not... Oh. Is there like a read-only for all of AWS? Is there like a read-only for specific services? It looks like it's only specific services. I must be missing it somewhere. Where's power user? I can use power user. It gives too much access, but I'll use it for the time being. Cool. So now we gotta take care of some of these things. Map string interface, redundant type array, redundant type from array, slice, or map composite literal. I don't think this makes any sense. I don't see it being redundant. It's just saying that it's a map string interface array, and this is a map string interface. Like I think that's wrong. Can I Google this? Redundant type from... What does that mean? Are you saying I can just do this? Interesting. Okay, let's try that. All right. So no idea how this is gonna work. Apparently, I've been running this for 3 days and 1 hour and 58 minutes. Yikes. It was gonna fail massively. I know it. Where is it? Okay. OIDC is good. Fail. Shit. Resource has a problem with expected URL to have a host. Got that. Does it need the HTTPS? Really? Interesting. Okay, that looked a whole lot better than I thought it would. Let's go through this real quick. So this is my OIDC provider. No, this is not my OIDC provider. This is my role. My role says it's going to take a string like that, refs heads. This is the read-only role. And I wish, oh, it says it right there. But yeah, it says it right there. Okay, so this is how you I wish this name was like here or something. Like, I don't know. Anyways, so that's gonna create my read-only role. And then this is my policy, which includes the KMS star and the KMS key arn. Which I want to experiment with this. I want to pull that key arn from the other stack and then provide it in here. Actually, I don't even remember this key arn. Anyways, it doesn't matter. This is the OIDC provider with the URL that I just complained about. Apparently needed HTTPS. I thought I was assumed. This is the deploy role. This is the special part where it takes output string. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is gonna work still. This will work just fine, obviously. This, I don't know if that's gonna work. Outputs, it's gonna go ahead and deploy the deploy role and then the same output string that is coming here. And then the read-only role and then the same output string that's gonna work there. The read-only role is, I didn't see it actually create the read-only role. Where's the read-only role? Here's the deploy role, here's the, oh, right, the read-only role is the first one, right? The read-only role is the first one, yes. That is exactly correct. Let's see how this works. I don't have a lot of faith in it. Oh my god, I'm gonna hate this key so much. Yeah, sure, create. Failed. Already. Provider already exists. What? Missing field act. That's the one I knew that was going to give us a problem. Oh wait, no, this is the IAM policy. This isn't the, this is different. What? What's so different about this policy? How is this? Oh. Oh my god, I need to know these keys. IAM policy example. Version, ID, statement, set, effect, principal, action. Effect. Okay, so that was it. These are gonna fail because it thinks that my OIDC provider still exists. Which, does it? It probably does. Okay, let's break it. Oh, look at it, there it is. 11 months ago. Delete. Delete. Cool. Gone. Alright, so that'll fix that. Now, what's wrong with this? This is the read-only rule. Read-only rule. Malform policy. Missing action field. Oh, at least it gave me. Read-only role. I don't need an action. Why do I need an action field? Malform policy missing in action field. I'm so confused. I knew this. I wasn't expecting this one to fail so badly. I don't need an action. It's all in here. Oh my god. Maybe it's this guy that's missing an action field? Oh, it is this guy, isn't it? It's this guy. Because in this one, I have STS as assume role identity. Yeah, it's actually that guy. Your mic is too far away, sound comes low. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's probably because I'm being an idiot and I'm talking this way. Yeah, sorry. Okay, thank you, by the way. I need the actions field here. Action field here. And this is a string array. I just need this guy. It's there. There we go. Alright. Now let's try it. So, I need a longer arm, I swear. This is much too short. My base is all the way over there, and I think that's the problem because I don't have... I share between two different... That's my workstation over there, and I share the same mic for both. I think that's the problem. Alright, so let's try this. I've got the action in there now, which is STS with assume role identity. Still problem. Malformed. GitHub read-only role. Syntax. Position 1, 217. Okay, well at least it's on the read-only role, but I don't know if it's on the assume role part of the read-only role or not. And since this is just that, it has to be here. Statement version, action. Yeah, I don't know if this is working. Well, actually, it did work for the deploy. Oh, I didn't do it for the deploy role, did I? No, for the deploy role, I did this guy. Okay, that's the problem. Let's see now. Let's see. You raise my mic volume since you're saying... I don't know if that's going to be any better, but we'll see. So, where did it... Syntax, position 1, 217, malform policy document. It's a syntax error? I've got version statement, which is an array, which effect allows string array. Winston, thank you for the follow. I need to move this thing up. I think I know what the problem is. This follow box that I have here is viewer count raid box, not raid box. Yeah, this alert box is just much too low and I can never see the names. There we go. Alright. So I added this and it immediately complains that I have the action field missing, right? Same complaint. Two different complaints. This is missing an action field. This is actually unknown field JSON. Okay. Oops. So it's saying that this guy, has it always been the deploy role that has been failing? Like that makes... Hold on, to fix the mic issues, let me move this here. Let me move this here. And then let me share that screen. That way I'm always looking this way towards my mic. There we go. Hi Winston, how are you? Welcome to... What did I call this? Low octane code. There you go, low octane. They're little guys coding on Twitch. I guess I'm a little guy. I don't know if I'm little. I weigh 180 pounds, which my wife would. Thanks. I'm glad you like it. I hope you enjoy it. This is. I'm going to do my best to keep it the same theme and whatnot. Yeah, I know. I weigh 180 pounds, and my wife would love to be like, hey, you need to lose some weight. She even suggested there's this thing called, what is this? Like freeze, like you freeze your fat and it comes out your wee, which is, I don't know. I didn't want to get into it. Like, I'm not into body modifications. I really want to get into C++. I played around with Java quite a bit. I know my way around Java. I can do the same thing, like look up code and whatnot, and read resource code, and probably get away with making things in Java quickly, like I can with Go. But I really need to get in C++, because to me, C++ is just, it's just like, you know, types and sensitivity and classes on top of C, and I need to get into C. I just don't have that yet, policy. And I didn't do anything different, right? Why can't I type today? Condition, string like, sub, string array. No, it's you can stay, like it's not a problem. I'm happy to talk to anybody and everybody. Like, I'm not a big streamer. I don't intend to be a big streamer, but if I do get there, then obviously I won't be able to reply to anybody and everybody, but I can now, so take advantage of that. Let's see. Actually, let's do this. Oh my god. What? Oh, come on. There we go. Strange. Why does this pass and that one doesn't? This is the same directory, come on. Or is it? No, it's not. It's not. I'm an idiot. That's where I'm at. Okay. Let's see. So it says here. Now I've got them both on the same screen. I can go ahead and do. Why does this need to be updated? There's no reason for this to be updated. Anyways, deploy role saying unknown field JSON, which I can't fathom where it's getting that from. Because here, I'll have to fix that one last. Let's fix the malform policy in the read-only role. So I've got version, which is that statement is this. See if we can do a preview diff with details. So looking at the read-only role, I've got assume role policy JSON. Great, got it. Statement is an array. Action is an array with assume role with web identity. I don't know why there's not a comma here, but there isn't. Condition, string like that and that. Correct. Right? String like actually has, excuse me, I'm going to move my Firefox back over here and everything else that I hold dear to me on this side. So let's go back to Firefox and let's say I am condition string like. Not. No. Thank you. Damn it, it opened a new freaking window. There we go. String like. So string equals, I'm not doing that. I'm doing string like. Yeah. Whoa. I just saw it. String like, S3 prefix. Yeah, so I can have the key of anything and then a string array, which is exactly what I have. The key of anything and then a string array, which is exactly what I want. So there's string like, and then there's also string not like, and that's fine. Okay, cool. Condition. Let's see. This isn't gonna be like for any value or whatever that is. For any value. Yeah, it might be. What does that mean? If key contains multiple values, string like can be qualified with a separate operator for all values and for any values. And I'm gonna say it's for all values, but that still isn't the problem. For all or for any values. Is it for any value? Yeah. This still isn't the problem, because this is just gonna say for any value string like tokens whatever .com and then this guy, right? Because I'm not providing string like initially in this example. Actually, no, I am. I definitely am. So it's not that. It's got to be something else. Effect allow principal. Oh, what the heck is that? Why is this empty? Oh, this is one of those things that I thought I was going to fill in and it's not filling in. Okay, alright. Well, that explains it. Will that work? I needed to say output value or whatever that was. It's still empty. And in this one, it's not empty. So I have principals, identifiers,